Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Here it's Rock and Roll Spot Connection with my review of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which is an adaptation of the, well, to be perfectly honest, classic series of horror anthology books from the, I want to say, early 90s or so? Early to mid 90s? There were three of them. Anyway, surprisingly, however, while the books were an anthology series, the movie is not an anthology movie. In fact, I thought it was an interesting take on the source material and way of presenting it. Interesting way of presenting the source material, their adaptations of the source material. There we go. Definitely worth a watch, I would say. Anyways, cast of note, you've got Zoe Margaret Coletti as Stella Nichols. She's a teenage girl, loves horror as well as writing. Actually wants to write horror. While in the Bellows house, she's the one that discovers the book of Sarah Bellows' stories. Michael Garza is Ramon Morales, who's a young man passing through Mill Valley, befriends Stella and her friends, and ends up having to stick around. Gabriel Rush is Augie, one of Stella's friends, fancies himself something of an intellectual. He's the brains of the group. Well, of her the two friends of hers you see. He's the brainy one. You have the smart friend, you have the funny friend. Speaking of the funny friend, Austin Zajur as Chuck, the funny friend. Stella's funny friend. Natalie Ganzorn as Ruth, Chuck's sister. Part of the school drama club. Bickers with her brother often. Dean Norris as Ray Nichols, Stella's father, who's very protective of his daughter. Has been raising his daughter alone for a while now. It's not really specified how long. I don't recall it being specified how long it's been since Stella's mother left, but yeah. Then we've got Gil Bellows as Police Chief Turner, who's the police chief. He's honestly a fairly stereotypical small town police chief. So, on to our spoiler-free breakdown. After a Halloween prank that went slightly wrong, Stella, Augie, and Chuck run from the local bully that they targeted with said prank and end up in the local drive-in where they meet Ramon, who is watching a double feature which includes Night of the Living Dead, which at this time was not even a month old. Like, this is, I think, 30 days after it was initially released, so a little nitpick, but yeah, it doesn't kill it. Anyway, so after the bully briefly catches up with them, gives them some grief, Stella ends up suggesting that they go see a haunted. Basically, ask Ramon, "You want to see a haunted house?" And so they take Ramon to the Bellows house, explaining the history of the house along the way. While exploring the house, Stella and Ramon discover a hidden room which they realize belonged to Sarah Bellows, who is said to be the ghost that haunts the house. In which she haunts it generally is telling scary stories from through the wall from her room. As they explore the room, Stella discovers Sarah's book of stories, which she takes with her. Before they can leave, however, the bully from earlier locks them in the room and vandalizes Ramon's car, though we don't learn about the vandalizing until a little bit later. Sarah's ghost frees them, however, and which is what, as they leave, they discover that Ramon's car has been vandalized. At home, Stella discovers a seemingly new story in the book entitled Harold. Over the next few days, more seemingly new stories appear: the Big Toe, the Red Spot, the Dream, Mitai Dotai Walker, and the Haunted House. Each one corresponding with the disappearance of someone. Kids eventually make their way back to the Bellows house where everything is, of course, wrapped up. So, ups and downs. So I thought it was an interesting way to adapt the stories from the book series, though I don't think it. I don't. I'm not entirely sure it can work in a sequel, which more on that later. I think honestly, further ones would honestly have to be anthology movies. And recreate some of the classic imagery from the book series, which that was so great. Harold is especially memorable, and it's on most of the promotional materials. Scares are fairly well done. There's even a decent fake out scare early on. It was actually well done. Not all the characters, however, are as fleshed out as they should be, which really kind of makes the fates of pretty much everyone pretty clear. Um, Also, it does. I mentioned how the format of this I don't think would carry over well for a sequel. I bring that up because the movie does kind of set up a sequel. Thankfully, it's the kind of sequel where if it doesn't get made, well, okay, there are some things you might, but you kind of just okay, well that's how things go. All right, so overall opinion, like I said earlier, it's an interesting adaptation of the book series using recognizable imagery from the books, and it's honestly really well shot and directed, and was well written. Definitely worth checking out. I gotta give it a 3 out of 5. I mean, it's not great, but it's definitely not bad. Um, anyway, as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to be notified when I put up new content. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.